Hello and welcome to the FM Scout YouTube channel. I'm Bood FM and this is the next episode in our little mini series where each member of the YouTube team is going to highlight the team they support and tell you why we think they'll be a good save choice on FM17. Now, as you can tell by the screen, I am a Man United fan and I honestly believe that Man United would be a good choice to start off with on FM17. Now, we're not the team we used to be, we're not a team you can take over and just win the Premier League. But they're not a team that's far off from being a title-winning side. So I think with the money you get, the resources you'd have at Man United, you can have a bit of fun, have a 2-3 season save, buy a few players, win yourself a title, and just see how the game is. Have a bit of fun buying some world-class players. You could also put a bit of time into it, have a long save, try and emulate Alex Ferguson, try and get yourself on the Legends list. I really think it's a good club to play on and play with in the Premier League and on FM17. So as you can see, we're obviously still on FM16 and I've used an updated database that I got from fmscout.com. Now what I'm going to do is we're just going to run through the players in the squad that you'll start with, maybe highlight some of the positions you could strengthen, have a look at the coaching staff and the finances. So let's get to it. Here we are with the Man United squad. So what I'm going to do is I'll work from the back, we'll work forward, we'll have a look at some of the players and maybe talk about some of the positions I think you could strengthen. So we'll start with the number one, and it's David De Gea. Great goalkeeper, fantastic reflexes, easily one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It's definitely a position you don't have to worry about at Man United, but you don't need to worry because you've also got Sergio Romero as your backup goalie. I think he's a decent keeper and he probably could walk into some other Premier League teams and be their number one. We'll start at left back. You've got Luke Shaw. Now Luke's still young. I think if you can stay injury free, he's definitely going to progress. He's going to become a really, really top class left back. But if he gets injured, I think you're struggling for real cover. Now, left back wise, you've got Marcos Rojo. Now, I think he's more of a centre half really, but he's a good player. I like him. I think he's a really good player to have in your squad. Not a natural left back. I don't think he's more of a centre half, but like I said, he could cover there. You've also got Daley Blind, who I think he can play at left back. I don't personally like him at left back. He's more of a midfielder to me, more of a centre half probably. He's just a great player to have though, Daley Blind. He can cover so many positions. Let's go over to right back and we'll start with Matteo Darmian because he can also play at left back naturally. But I think he is more of a right back. I think this is the position that needs strengthening because after Matteo Darmian, the other option you've really got is Antonio Valencia. And Antonio Valencia is a winger, and I think as a fullback he's good if he bombs on and crosses it in for you. But I think he's more of a winger. So personally, the right back position is somewhere I'd like to strengthen. Now we'll move into the centre and we'll start with Chris Smalling because Chris Smalling is a centre half. You can also cover at right back, but he's a centre half. Now he's a good player. I really rate him, but I don't think he really looks that good on the game. So you've got Chris Smalling. Also, you've got Phil Jones. Now Phil Jones, I'll be honest with you, he's got decent stats on this game. He can cover at right back. He can cover in midfield. Alex Ferguson famously said once that he was going to be one of the best players United have ever had. I think it was one of his mad moments because he definitely isn't. He's one of the players I'd be selling and replacing because we've got Eric Bailly. Now at the minute on FM16, I don't think his stats are okay because he's still a young player, but I don't think he's as good as he actually is in real life. I think he will definitely get a stat boost for the next game and he'll definitely be one of your number one centre halves. But I do think he needs a partner. So that's another position I'd be looking at strengthening. Now, I'll start with one of my favourites, and that's Michael Carrick. He's older. He's probably at the end of his career. Well, he is at the end of his career. He can play defensive midfielder, central midfielder, but he's just a great player, I think. A great passer of the ball. I think United are a better team when he's in it. Next, you've got Morgan Schneiderlin. Again, can play as a defensive midfielder or a central midfielder. He's also a good player, good team player, can tackle. You know, I do like him, another good squad player. Next is Paul Pogba, the most expensive player in the world. Now, was he worth 90 million? I don't think he was. But he's still a fantastic player, still worth a lot of money and has some absolutely out of this world stats. And he's a young lad, he's still got so much football ahead of him. Great player to have. We've also got Bastian Schweinsteiger now. He's also going towards the end of his career, he's about 31 into. Still got some great stats. Next we'll look at Ander Herrera, another player I really like. Little fella's got some real ability. Can play in the middle, can also play a bit more forward in a bit of a 10 role. A player I like and a good player to have in your squad. Next is Marouane Fellaini. He's got some great ability. He's got some stats on here that are fantastic. But do I like him? Not really. He'd definitely be a player I'd look at selling. Let's move on to the attacking midfielders, and we'll start off with Henrikh Mkhitaryan. And he's a good player. I think he's more of a squad player. Can play naturally on the left, can play on the right, can play in the centre. Got some decent stats. He's 26 years old, so he's not really going to improve much. And let's move on to Juan Mata. And he's a great player. I really like him, me. Will his stats be this good in the next game? I don't know. I think a few people have called out for him to be decreased a bit. Maybe they've got a point, because they are quite good. I think he's a very good player. He's been a good player on FM16. He can also cover on the wings and play in the centre. Ashley Young, again, another player that can cover a lot of positions. Stat-wise, he's not the best. He's not. He's definitely a squad player. But he's a decent player. He is English. He's still not too old. Play left wing, right wing. He can play in the centre too. Next is Memphis Depay. Been a bit of a flop, really. Not been the big player that I think all Man United fans thought he was going to be when we signed him. Did always become quite a good player in past FMs. I've seen him become a really good player. Will he become that player now? I don't know. I think he's probably going to have a bit of a decrease in his potential ability. Next is Jesse Lingard, homegrown player. You need a good few homegrown players. Now he's okay. Stat-wise, he's all right. He can play in the left. He can play in the centre. He can cover in midfield. But I think this is one of the problems United have. They haven't really got any wide men, and I think United are always famous for having wide men. And me personally, I like to play with wingers in my saves. And I think that's one thing United are lacking. They're lacking a really good right winger. I think they've got a lot of cover on the left. I think they're really struggling on the right for a really good right winger. And that's something I'd look at buying if I was going to be Manchester United. Now, let's start with the strikers, and we'll look at Anthony Martial. Good young lad, good player, got a lot of football ahead of him, got a lot of potential, could become a really, really good player. And then we've got the famous Marcus Rashford. Now, stat-wise at the minute, he's not that great. He can play deeper, he can play out wide, but he's a striker, isn't he? I think he's going to become a really good player. And I also think for FM17, he's going to get a really good stat boost. Next, we'll have a look at the opposite end of someone's career, and it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Absolute legend. He's like a god in it. He's amazing. He's someone I've always admired, and I can't lie. I think it's brilliant that he's at Manchester United. Great players to have in your team. You could get in tutoring the likes of Marcus Rashford. Now, one player I won't be keeping is the last player I'm going to look at, and that's Wayne Rooney. Now, he was a good player. He's been a great servant to the club, but stat-wise, he has drops, and I think stat-wise, he's going to drop again for FM17. But I would be cashing in on him, and I'd be replacing him because he's definitely on the slope. He's definitely a player that peaked early. Now, if you really want to put your own stamp on this team and you want to buy some players and take Man United back to the top, I think it won't be hard. Now, everyone knows about United. They're in a bit of debt. They owe a few $100 million still. It's still going to be a couple of years before they pay that off. But one thing's going to be all right is you're always going to have a lot of money to spend. You're easily going to have 70, 80, 90 million every summer. Or enough money to buy yourself a Galactico or a couple of good players. Really put your own stamp on this team. I mean, even if you get 80 million, you can make that 80 million into 200 million if you're clever enough and you break it down and you spread it out. And United's a team that you can do that with. You can quite easily buy a Neymar for 200 million spread out over 4 years, and it won't affect you. You're not going to put the club under. You'll be able to afford that. So you can really have some fun with Man United. Facility-wise, you've got Old Trafford, 75, just short of 76,000 all-seater stadium. It's massive. You're going to make a lot of money from that stadium, from your ticket sales. But yeah, you've got some cracking facilities. You've got top corporate facilities. You've got state-of-the-art training ground, top youth facilities. So, I mean, you could probably improve your youth facilities, but I don't think you're going to have to put much money into that. You can maybe concentrate on saving that money and building your team. Okay, we're going to look at the staff, and if there's anything I'd improve, it'd be the staff. Now, I don't know if it's going to get any better for FM17, but with this updated database, the staff ain't that good. You've got a lot of fitness coaches, a couple of goalkeeper coaches. Nicky Butt's now the head of youth. I don't think he's good at head of youth. I think you need better stats than he's got. and there's definitely people out there you'd be able to bring into Old Trafford who would do a better job. When you look at the training as well, and you look at how they're all spread out, I mean, I've took myself off it and just looked at the staff that they've got at the minute, and you see some of them like tactics and attacking and shooting. I mean, 2.5 stars ain't good enough. You want 4, you want 4.5, maybe even 5. So I think looking at Man United as a whole, I think it's a really good project and a really good chance to have some fun on FM17. Now, I think even if you don't buy any players, you've got a squad there with the right tactic and the right management. I think you could get in the top 4. I mean, the Premier League's strong. You've got teams like Leicester City winning it. But I do really think, you could have a really, really good goal. Now, hopefully, you've enjoyed this little episode. And if you have, don't forget to smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to FM Scout already, drop us a sub. There'll be plenty of videos coming out once a new game hits. We're really going to work our hardest to give you as much content as we can. Also, feel free to check out my channel, Bood FM. I'll put a link down below. I've got a new series with Huddersfield Town coming out when the new game comes out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.